I stared back at him. I knew what answer I should give. However, I couldn't make my mouth say the words. So, instead I said, strawberry shortcake. A confused look crossed his face. Then he smiled. Meat buns. I nodded my head. We stood there staring at each other for a few minutes, then his phone began to buzz in his pocket. I turned my attention back to the dishes in the sink. Do you need to go? No, it's fine. You sure? You're not getting rid of me that easily. I didn't need to see him to know he was smiling. I'm not trying to get rid of you. Good. That was my sister, by the way. She was checking to see if I was able to clear things up between us. She felt bad when I explained what was happening. Oh, I dried my hand on the kitchen towel and went back to sit at the table. Do you have any siblings? Yes. I have an older brother. He looks a bit surprised. What? I didn't expect to get a straight answer from you. I shrugged. You still haven't answered my other 2 questions. I raised an eyebrow at him. Favorite color and movie? I was being honest earlier, I don't really have a favorite color. As for a favorite movie, I paused to think. I don't really have one of those either. He looked at me thoughtfully, deciding if I'm being honest or not. Yes. Verdict? He was quiet for a few minutes. I believe you. Anything else? Not right now. I don't want to push my luck. Now it was my phone buzzing. Hey, what are you doing? Talking to Shoyo. Now Yams is calling. Hello. What do you mean, talking to Shoyo? He came over earlier to explain about the girl. Shoyo looked up at me. Yamaguchi? I nodded. And, she's his sister? Yams was quiet. Do you believe him? Yes? Is he still there? Yes? Put me on speaker. I put my phone on speaker and placed it on the table between us. You're on speaker. Hinata? Hey, Yams. Is she your only sister? Yes. Do you know what I'm really asking? Yes? You don't have to worry. The only person whose attention I want is Tsukishima. Good. Are you coming to join us? No. I was just checking on Tsuki. I'm not a child. You don't need to check on me. I looked from the phone to Shoyo. And who said you could call him that? He held his hands up. My bad. It's fine. You can call me Yams. And you can call me Shoyo. Great. Now everyone has a name. I rolled my eyes. How's the art exhibit? We all talked on the phone for a while. Yams even put his phone on speaker so that his friends could join in the conversation. After a 20-minute phone call, we hung up. I like your friends. They're Yams' friends. He tilted his head to the side. What? How come Yams is your only friend? 'Cause he is. He looked at me with a smirk. Looks like my time's up. I'm going to go. He stood stretching. I'll walk you out. Really? That's it? I shrugged. What? Did you expect me to beg you to stay? No, but, do you want me to stay? I'm good either way. He shook his head slowly and laughed. What now? You intrigue me. How so? Well, let's see. You say you don't care whether I'm around or not, but you don't necessarily make it easy to be around you either. He used his fingers to count. You don't want me to leave you alone, but you still want to keep me at a distance. He ticked off another finger. When I actually can get you to tell me something about yourself, you close up right after and I have to start all over again. It's like we're playing tug of war or something. If it's such a hassle, then why keep trying? I'm pretty sure there's someone easier to get close to. He stepped closer to me. I never said you were a hassle. But apparently I. Shoyo looked at me pointedly, holding up his hand. I also said that the only person whose attention I want is yours. So easy or not. He took my hand in his. I'm not just going to give up. Then why did you say your time was up and that you're leaving? Because you seem to have reached your limit. I looked down at our hands. When I asked about Yams, you closed back up. I want you to feel comfortable with me enough to tell me stuff because you want to. Not because I dragged it out of you. Oh, still holding my hand. He started towards the front door. If I asked for your number, would you give it to me? I guess. You don't have to. Give me your phone. He handed me the phone from his pocket and I put my number in. Sometimes I don't hear it when I'm playing. Noted. He smiled up at me. I have a family thing tomorrow morning, so I'll probably call sometime after lunch. Okay. You're not going to blow me off. Right? I'll answer. Promise? I raised an eyebrow at him. Seriously? No. I just wanted to see if you would. We had reached the door. He finally let my hand go. I could still feel the pressure of his hand as I opened the door. He stepped outside but turned back to face me. Make sure you keep your phone close. I nodded. He smiled and started down the street. I closed the door and went back to my room. I laid on my back looking up at my hand. He had reached for it so casually and held it so gently. I thought back to what I had asked him before. Why me? I really want to know. My phone buzzed again in my pocket. It was another text from Yams, saying he was on his way. I texted him that Shoyo had left already. Point? I just didn't want you to come over for no reason. I'm coming over to see my best friend. We had plans today, remember? I thought we cancelled so you could go with your friends. I did go with them and now I'm coming to you. Be there in 10. Okay. I put my phone on the bedside table, staring up at the ceiling. His words ran across my mind. You don't want me to leave you alone, but you still want to keep me at a distance. Because being around you confuses me. It's like I like being around you, but I don't want to get close or attached to you either. I want you to feel comfortable with me enough to tell me stuff because you want to, not because I dragged it out of you. There are still things I can't even come right out and tell Yams. How can I be that way with you? How come Yams is your only friend? There was a knock on my bedroom door. Yeah, come in. Hey, that was fast. The bus came early. Oh, he put his bag on my desk and came to sit on my bed. I sat up, putting my pillow between my back and the wall at the head of the bed. That key is supposed to be for emergencies only. He shrugged and kicked his shoes off. I figured you'd be playing and wouldn't hear me knocking. So I let myself in. His reason was valid. That had happened so many times before and it'll probably happen many more times in the future. Anyway, have fun with Shoyo? This time I shrugged. He wasn't here long. We just talked. He explained about his sister and asked me questions. That's all. Questions about what? I told Yams everything that had happened while Shoyo was here, including the questions he asked and my answers to them. So does this mean you're going to stop avoiding him? I guess. I still can't believe you gave him your number. I shrugged again. We talked for a little more than Yams put on the movie we had planned to watch. Hey, Yams? It was about halfway through the movie. Yeah? He looked from the TV to me. Shoyo asked me something else and I don't really have an answer for it, but I can't stop thinking about the question. What? He asked, how come you're my only friend? Yams looked at me a bit surprised. What did you say? I told him. You just were. He nodded his head slowly. Is there a different reason? No. Then why can't you stop thinking about it? I guess because I had never really thought about it before. That I only have one friend. Does it bother you? Not really, but think about it. It's kind of sad, right? To only have one friend. It would be sad if it was anyone else, but I know you. You have a hard time trusting people and letting them in, so it makes sense. I nodded. We both went back to watching the movie. Do you want more friends? The end credits for the movie had just started. No. You sure? Because I know people who would like to get to know you better. I looked at him confused. I'm sure, but what people? He told me how his art friends thought that I didn't like them because I always excuse myself when they come around to talk to him. He told me that people from the school's orchestra asked him why I never joined, since they hear me playing the piano in the music room all the time. Why do they ask you instead of me? As I was asking the question, Shoyo's words once again ran across my mind. You don't necessarily make it easy to be around you. Yam shrugged. I don't dislike your art friends. I know, and I told them that. But they still don't believe you? It would probably help convince them if you would stop calling them my art friends, and instead just my friends. He smiled at me and I nodded back. What did you tell the people from the orchestra? I told them that if they wanted you to join they should ask you. They said they did, but you had turned them down. They wanted to know if I knew why. I told them I didn't, but that you probably just like playing by yourself. I thought back to the second week of school. A girl from the orchestra did ask me if I was going to join, but I thought she was just asking. I didn't know that they had heard me playing. Almost everyone knows that it's you playing. Wait, what? He shook his head and laughed. Tsuki, the walls at school aren't super thick. It's a piano. Of course people are going to hear you playing it in the middle of the school day. How had this never occurred to me? I almost dropped art to have the same free period, but when I found out this is where you spent your free period I didn't want to bother you. So you didn't tell Shoyo where to find me? What are you talking about? The day Shoyo walked me to gym. He said you told him to tell me not to wait for you. When we were cleaning up the art supplies, he asked me if he could walk to gym with us. As a joke, I told him that was up to you. He said okay and left out the classroom. I never sent him to find you. But he said. Yams burst out laughing. I was wondering why he had rushed off without me. I remembered the way Yams had smiled when he saw us together. He really said, me first, ha ha ha. I'm glad you find this so amusing. Can't say he isn't an opportunist. Nope. Can't say that. Yams laughed some more and I just shook my head.